Papa l'americano. Papa l'americano.
Hi, I'm Jake Nixon, and this is Crash Course World History. Today we'll be talking about piracy. Piracy is the act of robbery or criminal violence generally taking place at sea. Piracy has been going on since ancient times. Seriously. It emerged with the trade of the first civilizations such as Mesopotamia, Sumer, and Egypt. At least evidence points to that. But the first known documented act of piracy was in the 14th century BCE in the Aegean Sea. Piracy and trade is and always have been interconnected. Wherever trade has flourished, piracy would be attracted as well. Like a puppy to a treat, pirates would go wherever they would be rewarded. Now, the Pirates of the Caribbean may have made you think that the piracy was only occurring in the Caribbean Sea. Well, you are wrong, wrong, wrong. Piracy has been present throughout the world in places like East Asia, like China and Japan, Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, South Asia, such as India, and Eastern Europe, Western Europe, North Africa, North America, and the Caribbean Sea. So, pretty much the whole world.
Mr. Nixon, so you left out Antarctica. So, were there any pirates there or anything? Because, I mean, Antarctica is part of the world.
Nothing ever happens in Antarctica. Ever. Except for penguins. Anyways, back on topic. Now, you may ask, why would anyone ever want to become a pirate? What are the advantages of becoming a pirate? Well, the answer to that is simple. The money and the adventure. The record loot, or booty as a pirate might say, ever recorded was the capture of the Spanish frigate, or a fast naval vessel, the Hermione, in 1762. The value of the capture was so great that each individual seaman netted 485 pounds, or 1.4 million US dollars in 2008. The two captains received 65,000 pounds. This would equivocate to $188.4 million. So, pretty much, in a battle that may have taken a couple hours, a ship of pirates became millionaires. Easy money. It also provided another, more adventurous style of life to slaves and serfs who had nothing to look forward to except years and years of grueling labor. Now, being a pirate didn't always come with millions and millions of dollars. In Europe, in the 17th and 18th century, the governments began to confront pirates with new laws. Even if European governments caught pirates, then they would be subjected to public hangings called dancing the hempen jig. And I don't think anyone will ever know why they call them that. I mean, what does that even mean? These hangings eventually became like sporting events, where people actually gathered to watch them. They even had news coverage.
Mr. Nixon, so Captain Jack Sparrow, right? He wasn't, I mean, I haven't seen him punched at all. So what I'm wondering is, are all pirates as cool? Are all pirates like Captain Jack Sparrow?
Well, for once, Tyler, that's actually a good question. See, it kind of depends on what time period and the specific location that you're talking about for the pirate, because pirates have had to adapt their technology and their surroundings to what the modern world and the changing world is around them. The image and the idea of a pirate has been changing constantly throughout the years. So we used to have old pirates like Blackbeard, and now it's gone and progressed through Somalian pirates who have machine guns and machetes who just go out looking for their personal gain. Piracy is robbery with violence often segueing into murder, rape, and kidnapping. It is one of the most frightening crimes in the world. Using the same term to describe a 12-year-old swapping music with friends, even thousands of songs, is evidence of a loss of perspective so outstanding that it invites and deserves the derision it receives. Nick Harkaway, The Blind Giant. Now let's more specifically talk about the pirates ranging from 14th century BCE to 19th century CE. With sedentary life becoming more prominent and more dominant in the world, and trade starting to become more global, more products such as fine metals and jewelry and other spices were being traded across the seas. And that meant that piracy increased because there was more of a profit going across the seas, which made them more valuable. Something interesting about pirates and piracy was their political system. They were ahead of democracy trend occurring in the 20th and 21st centuries. The captain was selected by the vote of the crew. Wow, representative democracy. While the first officer had a veto against all of the captain's decisions. No one would ever guess that pirates would be more politically advanced than Britain. Speak of politics and other European countries, the pirates sometimes politically interacted with European countries. As the rivaling and quarreling European countries were rising to power, they would often find ways to sabotage their neighbors. Seeing that pirates were excellent saboteurs, they were often contracted to plunder and disrupt the towns of other countries. Now, the purpose of hiring these pirates, although ruthless and sometimes dangerous, is that governments wanted to sabotage other countries, but they wanted to do it secretly. They didn't want to be known, and they didn't want the other countries to know that they were the ones that were purposely sabotaging them in order to maintain that good relationship and not enter a full-out war. Now, although pirates loved to be rewarded in gold and money and jewels and other things, they also wanted to be rewarded in... Oh, looks like it's time for the open letter. An open letter. But first, let's see what's in the secret compartment. Ah, rum. You quenched pirates' throats and provided them with a nice beverage that did not spoil much like water, nor did not sour like beer. You also drank by the British Royal Navy and saved many of their lives too. I tip my hat off to you, rum. Sincerely, Jake Nixon.
As time passed, the old techniques, such as using rum aboard ships, and technologies, such as insanely large sailboats, became obsolete. New technology began to drastically shape piracy. Now, it's time for the thought bubble. As you can see, piracy is a worldwide phenomenon, even in present times, although it occurs heavily along the coasts of Africa and in Indonesia. I'm going to focus on the eastern coast of Africa. If you look closely at the piracy world map, you'll see a heavy concentration off the coast of Somalia. Now, piracy in Somalia has become very significant in recent times. It has been flourishing in recent times due to the lack of government intervention and the increase of trading ships in the area. So to speak, it's sort of a low-risk, high-reward type deal for pirates. That's why, the numbers of pirates are increasing every day. In a more in-depth look at the coast of Somalia, you can see the significant territory that just the small group of people can cover. So as you can see from the maps, piracy in Somalia is a significant ordeal. One question you may ask is, why would the people of Somalia commit themselves to a life of piracy? In a first-hand interview with a Somali fisherman, we find out their motives are much more than that of greed.
Is Bosaso Harbor, the cradle of Somali piracy. The problems started here a few years ago when Somali fishermen hijacked fawn trawlers that came to fish in the Somali seas without permits. Illegal fishing boats from all over the world came to these well-stocked waters and practically cleaned them out. Clearly there is not much fish left, as is shown at the meager catch the Bosaso fishermen bring ashore at dawn.
waxa weeye dhibta aanu qabno anagu oo na haysata waxa weeye mid aanu u adkaysan lahaynay weeye hadda waxa weeye waxaanu joognaa heer aanu badda inaanu ka baxno sababtoo ah waxa weeye anagu awood aanu maraakiibtaas jiriifka iyo kuwa jiriifka ay wataan nimanka maraakiibta xaraabiga wata kulluba dhib bay nagu hayaan.
According to the independent observers, there are indeed naval vessels, some European, that protect the illegal trawlers. In addition, the fishermen claim that their nets are torn to pieces. They are at their wits' end.
waxaan oga geynaysaa nin intii dawladaha adduunka oo nagu soo daayay maraakiibtooda inay naga qabtaan in maraakiibtaas marka dhibaatada taagan waxaanu ka codsanaynaa in nala ka qabto oo wixii aanu haysanay kabkabka xataa waa nala ka qaatay.
Practically every country in the world now deploys the most modern naval vessels and even submarines against the pirates here.
Going along further with that point of view, 70% of local coastal communities in Somalia strongly support the piracy as a form of national defense of the country's territorial waters. And the pirates believe that they are actually protecting their fishing grounds. And you know what? They could be right. You know, they also believe that they're exacting justice and compensation for the marine resources stolen. Outside fishermen, they pollute and they overfish their waters, leaving many, like the fishermen that we just heard from, out of luck. They are destroying Somalian societies. So pretty much what Jake and I are trying to tell you is, piracy is a sketchy business, you know. There's problems and conflicts around with it today, you know, even hundreds of years before today. So just remember, be the change you want to see in the world. Do you get that? See? Pirates? I know, pretty funny.
We running this, let's go. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Everybody look at me, cause I'm sailing on a